Welcome. You are at the CCC.
Where there are no outside issues. Hi, my name is Bonnie Violet. I'm a trans femme, genderqueer, spiritual drag artist, digital chaplain, and a person living in recovery.
My name is Anthony. I'm a 7-year doctoral student in clinical psych, an addict and an alcoholic. Super tired today, but I still care about you.
Yes, and I'm Lulu, and my pronouns are he and him. I'm a former Miss Castro Country Club. I am in recovery for alcohol and crystal meth, and I am always in search of balance.
And each week we create and provide a brave space where we engage in conversations around topics of recovery.
Yes, and our intention is to hold and inspire better spaces for those people in recovery.
By tackling topics sometimes used to separate us.
But before we do that, like, comment, subscribe, and ding that bell.
Ding,
ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding.
Share this video.
Share this video. Also, that was flawless.
Yes, it was. That was amazing.
And I think it was flawless because we are 15 minutes late to be on air.
I said 4-ish.
Talk about being right size.
Yeah, being right size.
It's very humbling, huh?
Yeah, we
very
also
much.
lived up to the 4-ish.
We did. I know when we started saying it, we were destined.
Yeah, we are.
Yes.
You know,
It's kind of like when you try to lose weight and you get sweats. My friend always said,
what?
Okay, so if you get a storage space and you buy more storage, you're going to fill it up. So the best thing to do, if you're trying to get a smaller shirt.
I see.
Right.
I see the logic there.
Yeah. It's really warped
At first
logic.
I was like, huh?
It's like,
At first you were
follow
afraid.
me, go with me. Come on, you know me by now. Just go with me. Eventually we're going to get there.
My gosh, I am so tired. How is everyone?
Great.
Get a
Glad
little
to be here.
Okay.
We all rushed to be here today.
Absolutely. Because
This congeniality.
I was a little worried because I thought I was going to be late, but it's like then I heard about you guys being late now.
Yeah, gosh.
Lulu's like, I'm going to be late. And Anthony's like, I'll top that. I'll be late. And I was like, well, I'll top that. I'll be even later.
I know, I'm like, I'll be there at 4:04. No, never mind, 4:10. And you're like, no, 4:11.
Well, I was like, at least get there before Anthony. Like,
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
I was saying in my head. But luckily, it was so cool. I landed in this Uber, and the driver was like playing jazz music.
Oh,
nice.
Very
It was like
nice.
super chill. So I was just like, it was nice.
I get you in the right frame of mind before you come.
Yeah, he's like, everybody should have to listen to jazz music when they're driving or riding. Am I not close enough to the mic?
No. Well, I've been listening to our recordings and I noticed that we slowly move away from the microphone as we record.
I noticed that
right.
too.
Yeah.
Need to like tape my mouth too. Just like
It's like a human centipede.
I know, right? Like next week we're on here and you just see us duct taped to the mic.
Like swallow that mic.
We're talking about kink this week.
Are we talking about kink this week?
No,
but
My gosh. So have we done the question about how are we? Did we do
we're
that already?
good.
No, we're good.
Let's get to the topic. We started
Let's
late.
dive in.
Let's get to the topic. What is the topic?
It's being right sized.
Being right size.
That's
yes.
right. You sent that really cute video to us.
Yeah, wasn't that cute as a little kid?
Yeah, he
Kids
was
know
adorable.
everything. They're so much smarter than us,
Yes.
which means we start out smart.
I think so.
Yeah. So go ahead.
We don't have any like limitations or rules or nobody telling us you can't. Then you have the opportunity to do it. You know.
Right. And then we get jaded
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
or whatever happens.
Yeah.
Warped.
I Googled, like I do. I
Right
look for
size.
videos.
Yeah,
right,
you do that.
to pre-lube, get ready.
Just-
And
just-
I was on the YouTube and I typed in right sized, and there actually was not a lot of videos that came up. There was like a couple under right sized, and it was like, does size matter? And I was like, oh, that's a whole nother.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother episode.
And then X-Tube popped up.
Right. No. Yeah. Right. I got a little distracted.
It was what you already been watching on XTube.
Yeah.
Right. But there was like a couple that came up, and most of them were like, I think it is like a recovery term.
Yeah.
More so.
I not Googled it. I looked it up in the dictionary, and there was a
Like
dictionary
the old
definition.
book dictionary, or did you still?
No, the internet.
Oh, okay.
So my little tagline is probably how people who aren't in recovery talk about this idea of right size, because I'm always in search of balance.
Are you chewing into the mic?
Yeah, I guess that's right sized, right?
You said, am I chewing into the mic?
You just told us to chew the mic.
No, because
I know. I just
Says like
I
the
took a
king of
bite. I took a bite and then
ASMR.
I realized. Oh,
yeah.
man,
Well, you came
stop
for
that.
me last week because you were like, "Don't you want to eat something while you're on the mic?" Because of the popcorn. Because Brandon had popcorn.
he was
Squirrel.
You couldn't see it. Anthony was salivating over. It's like, oh my god.
Oh,
that's-
it smelled
that's
so
real-
good.
That
Oh
food
my
looks
God.
real
It's like
good.
squirrel.
It's like Jennifer Coolidge. Oh my God, you look like the 4th of July. You look on a hot dog real bad.
I love her.
I know.
Wow.
Where were we? So
We
being
are on
right
it.
sized. Being right sized. So
Yes.
so tell me what you read or what you came across.
Well, I mean, being right sized is, like the big word for that is humility. So once you look up humility, you definitely see a lot more. But one of the things that I thought was interesting with humility or being right sized that was said that I really liked was who was it? It was some bishop, and they were talking about having the awareness of your frailty within.
What?
I know, right? But basically, it's like your humanity.
The frailty within. I'm gonna have to chew on that. Can I tell you what I found on the interwebs?
You gonna chew on it in the mic or just chew on it? In general?
No. I think Lewis has got that covered.
No, actually, no. It's not a very good definition.
The one on the dictionary one.
Yeah,
Yeah, isn't that interesting? So the dictionary definition of right size is
A size that is correct.
that's not what you've read. First off, I have a protector on my screen so you can't even see it. Okay, so it says
a size that is correct.
the correct size. So right size convert, so in parentheses, something to an appropriate or optimum size. And then the example they give is organizations are beginning to right size computer systems to suit themselves. And then the other one is reduce the size of, so pertaining to a company or an organization, by eliminating staff positions, specifically when business conditions necessitate such a reduction.
Right.
So reduction, so bringing down.
One of the things that makes me think of one of the things I saw was like 6 steps on how to be humble or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And one of the first ones was kind of like taking an inventory.
Of yourself?
Well, just an inventory in general. Like if you want to be right sized, you got to really figure out what you're working with, right?
What do you mean?
What? No, like I mean,
No. I'm having that reaction because there's a lot of thoughts in my head, and
Yeah.
I'll share them later.
Okay.
Go.
No, I mean it just said that
Your eyes
like,
are so
to
pretty.
be humble is to. I put some eyeliner on today.
What's going on? It's like, were they running from a different place to get here?
I know. I was at a memorial. You were with.
I was at work.
A client.
Yeah, I was with a client. Yeah.
client.
So what did I want to say? Oh my God. What were you just saying?
So maybe
Right
inventory.
size.
'Cause you were
Inventory.
talking about
Inventory.
Right size.
Getting the right size.
The things that
for-
were coming up for me. So this week, I've been in 2 different situations where people have had explosive reactions
Wow,
and
I know.
have
I
left.
was going to comment on that, but it's like I'm all.
just in this episode.
No, I was in a thread and I asked what I believed. But see, the thing is, I anticipated this happening because I know this person closely. I absolutely love this person. And so, when you know people, you kind of anticipate how they're going to react to certain things.
Right.
And I literally said 3 different things, all kind of innocuous, and they left the chat. And then yesterday, I went out to dinner with 2 of my sponsees and some people from the fellowship.
Nice.
And one of our good friends, just number one, picked up their seat, went to the other side of the table in this very kind of big way, a very dramatic way. And my sponsee, being like maybe 4 months into the program, was super offended and felt like it was very personal, and it was clearly very personal. And then to top everything off, that same person then asked for their food to go, and they had this dramatic exit from the restaurant.
All right.
And I was like, wow, this is the week of explosive.
Are they okay?
I mean,
Does it matter?
Or was
I
it
don't
about
even
you?
know. It wasn't about me. No, I mean, none of it's about you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought, wow, this is, I feel like today's topic, kind of like when you're working the steps, like the environment starts to shape.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, like, in thinking of this idea of like being right sized or like it's not about you. One of the videos that I did come across, it was from a YouTube channel called Latter Days, which is
As
for
in the
Mormons.
Saints?
Yeah, it's like to teach kids about humility.
Yeah.
And it was like this little cartoon about these little ants. But anyway, basically the idea, it was interesting, a little propagandy, but you know.
Talk about the ants.
Well, they they collect food and they, and they go one by one and they collect their food before winter so that they have food so they all can like live or whatever. And one like sees their reflection in a spoon that was dropped on the ground. And then they see themselves and then all of a sudden they think they're bigger than everyone else and they're better than everyone else. So they just play their banjo while everyone else collects the food. And they try to get the ant from stop playing the banjo, and
The banjo.
and to help.
Where exactly did the ant get the banjo?
I don't know, but it was even playing the banjo with its like legs, and it somehow the banjo is little too, but kind of still big.
What was the message?
It was like pride and humility.
Oh, okay.
But basically, the ants saw themselves and automatically saw them as bigger and better than everyone else. So then they didn't have to do what everyone else did. And then, of course, the snow came and they were cold and they were hungry.
But they had music.
Yeah. And did they die?
It didn't go that far, because then it probably goes into chapter 2. I don't know, compassion, grace. I don't know. Like, I'm sure they didn't like kick him out. Maybe he came in and played banjo for food. I don't know.
Let's circle back to the topic.
Yeah. So how do we define
size
within the kind of like the recovery scene? How do we describe how
about I like what you were saying earlier, Lewis, about the thinking about right, like when you say balance, and you were saying that folks probably not in recovery probably think of being right sizes and having balance.
Yeah. No, definitely. What I've heard when folks talk about so obviously I had a bruised ego. I like to say it's bruised and it wasn't broke. I wasn't broken, but and I was always I was being completely self-centered, and everything it was either I am the best or I am the worst.
Right.
But it was always about me, and what we were saying earlier, it's not about me, and it just is, and so for me personally, I just try to find a comfortable place to be where I'm not making everything about me. I don't know.
Have you ever read Drop the Rock?
I've heard
I know
of
it's
it.
not
like
my
steps
sponsor and I,
6
we
and
were
7, right?
thinking about reading it after we finished it.
Is it CMA?
No. It's not AA approved literature, but it's based on the steps, and it's a really good book. And
it is, yeah.
And they kind of they drive home the importance of humility, and one of the takeaway messages is about putting other people before ourselves, not to
our detriment,
right, not to our
definitely.
right.
When I think oftentimes it feels like it's like getting right sized. It almost feels like you have to get knocked down, right?
Yeah.
You need to get made smaller or humbled. That's
old. The old way of kind of taking someone through rehabilitation is breaking you down so it can build you back up. I think we have a comment.
Oh, let's hear it. Don Lee.
Hi,
Don Lee writes in, for me, right-sized, parentheses, humility, means being on an even plane with everyone else. Not too better than, but also not less than others. It's just as arrogant to think I'm less than others as it is to think I'm better than you.
That's a very good point.
Well said, Don Lee.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, like I Don Lee, you're reminding me of when people are like super depressed and everyone hates me, and we don't generally think of that being self-centered or egotistical, but it is. It is,
absolutely.
I'm the center of the world. Everyone's thinking about me, etc. Thank you. Any other reflections on what Don said?
I think it's right on.
Yeah.
And I think I love the bringing up the idea that like thinking you're less than is just as unhelpful as thinking you're better than.
I think that, like you said, and when you were talking about the steps to like becoming humble or whatever, I think tied to the steps, I think what's really cool for us, and this is for anybody in early recovery, and early recovery for somebody is like 5-6 years. Anyway,
Right. Someone just got a
think-
resentment.
I think the benefit of doing the steps is like when I came in, like it would have been nice to be able to just, now that I'm not drinking or using, all of a sudden be doing things right, but that's not how it works. I gotta get to the root of why I'm doing what I'm doing. And then when I figure this stuff out, then I can start making changes. And it's a process. And I feel like this idea of right size, this idea of being humble, all of that stuff, I'm constantly having to do work around it because I slip back into old patterns. My head of sponsors say, it's not old behavior if you're still doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. Oh, I don't want to go on that, but just quickly, I was just thinking about that because with one of these people, I've been in a situation with them before, and I thought to myself, at what point am I not so forgiving of these explosive reactions?
No.
And I don't even know if that's
or not take it personal or.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, at this point, I don't take them personally. Although, there was something that happened this week that I took personally. And anyway, that's a whole other story. We can talk about it another day. But being right-sized.
Yeah.
So there, Lewis mentioned, having balance. And then I think in recovery, actually, in relationships is where I see it happens for me. Like just interpersonal relationships, not like romantic necessarily.
You learn humility.
Yeah.
Or being right-sized.
Yeah. Like for example, I feel like the times that I've grown the most is when I've had to, what is it that you quote a lot when Billy says, get over my cheap self?
Yeah, get over
yeah.
cheap
Like
self.
I've had to get over my cheap self. You know what I mean? Like I'll have some like idea about the world, and then I'll hear somebody else say something else, and it's just like, all right, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I don't know everything.
Yeah. One of the steps too was gratitude.
For
like,
what?
Having gratitude, like working on gratitude helps
absolutely.
you get to the right size of things.
We have a comment.
All right, let's.
Can I read this one?
Yeah.
Yes. Do it. Oh, hey.
Oh, look who it is.
Yes.
How much do you allow before you feel the need to humble someone? LOL. I don't think that works.
That's a problem. Jaylon, don't troll us.
I know. Jaylon's trolling. Well, see, this is what's interesting. It's like when you get to that place where you feel like you need to humble somebody, I think that you're hurting yourself. I think
Absolutely, yeah.
I think the damage, and it's taken a while. I think I was talking to someone about this, is where I had these moments where I was like, I need to prove to you who I am. I need to, and I need to not be disrespected. I need to show up in a certain way that is going to let you know who I am, which now, after doing all the work and realizing, hey, wait a minute, none of that matters. The only thing that matters is that I know who I am.
Yeah, it's
where I fall. And it's like, yeah, it's hard.
It's just so hard. Like, yeah, I've just been really feeling it.
It sounded
a lot
like the
lately.
beginning of a porno. I'm
It's
sorry.
just
I know,
so
where we
hard.
go.
Here
we go again.
Should we tell the folks?
I was just starting to get real.
Were you?
I was gonna like almost cry and
No,
just, like,
you
really
weren't.
open up.
I don't believe it. So recently, just as an aside, so we were talking, we were listening to our podcast, and we realized we had to reclassify ourselves.
We listened to
We're
our
like
own podcast.
we're like sailors.
Yeah, we had to reclassify our podcast as explicit because we realized that we dropped F-bombs and our topic matter.
Depending
We
on
had
who
to
you're talking
right-size.
to, we're explicit.
Yeah, we had to
period.
right size.
We had to right size.
We had to get right about it because it's like
Yeah, I personally,
why?
well, I didn't because I was like, oh, do we have to, like, what is the goal here? And I think there was a bit of me that was like, well, if we, and somebody else shared this, but if we do kind of label ourselves in this way, doesn't that limit our audience and who will hear us?
But we're not looking about right-sized. We're not looking to have 8 billion people.
No.
We have a very unique,
Right.
nuanced group of
We
people.
do. What I was thinking of is that there are literally, I think, like 17 countries that ban podcasts that have,
They're,
I mean, I guess we're not trying to.
I was like, they have their higher power.
yeah, no.
But I mean, what do we? I mean, I don't know. Why do we need to have 8 other countries.
No, I mean, okay, so it was just an example.
Because to be perfectly frank, like just because of the fact that we're gay
Who's
is
Frank?
going to make us explicit. Maybe in a
This
lot of
is
those
true.
countries
This
or
is
whatever.
true.
Like,
Also true,
like
yeah.
we don't even have to drop the F-bomb or talk about fisting or any of that sort of stuff for us to become
But I think
explicit.
in becoming right size is like acknowledging that, this is, we're in a niche. We're niche.
A niche. Yeah,
And so,
a nuance.
it may limit us, but we get to be okay with that because we are going to reach the people that we're going to reach.
We're just
That's
gonna
right.
Parlance.
Brandon said we can't talk about being a cum dump.
Oh,
He said we can't say that word.
Brandon just like,
I was quoting. I was
just
not.
died.
We were not talking about it. I was quoting.
I think he
Quoting.
just died.
No.
I think he's done. I think we're going to be looking for a new producer
No.
or a new job.
Or a new
They
co-host.
could just get rid of us.
that's so funny. It's like Brandon's all, no, it's like, you guys are incorrigible.
Incorrigible. So
I will say, because I was starting to say, just to get us back to topic, is I have been having a hard time with this right sizeness. And I don't know if it's emotional or what, but I've been feeling like I am too much for the people around me and not enough for myself.
Yeah.
Which is all like, and like I said, it's a feeling. It's like I know different, but I don't feel that way. And I've been trying to really figuring out how to manage that.
Is it like that Marianne Williamson quote is like, you serve no one by dimming your light or whatever? Because I'm listening to what you were saying and I'm thinking, you're too much for other people, but not enough for yourself.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's like, so I'm like this, and this comes from doing work. There are going to be people that get me.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, this is how I sort through bullshit.
right.
Because if I show you who I am and you're uncomfortable, it's not for me to try to change you and make you want to be around me.
I know.
It's for me to find people who are because there's other people vibrating at that same frequency that I am. And
Yeah.
so I get to kind of do the legwork if it's really important to me, and it is important to me.
Well, and with people that you're like in relationship with, they should be willing to
Absolutely.
handle whatever it is that you're kind of going through to some degree. And I think that's something that, like, I'm just like, this is a challenge I've had all of my life. Like, I can't say, and sometimes I've been better at it, or sometimes I've been able to not be so in touch with it. But I think I'm just at this point in my life where, how sometimes when it's like time to get past something, like you just can't get beyond it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, it's like so present and so relevant that I really can't escape it without figuring out how to be different. And it's been really interesting because it's been hard for me to not lash out in some sort of like hurt response instead. But that's the only way I can take action. But then I feel like the action isn't quite, it lacks grace, I guess.
Yeah. Well, there's so much there. The thing that I got stuck with is you said should a couple times, and I want to believe that there. For folks at home, I turned over to Bonnie, and she was literally laying on the microphone.
Put that microphone in your mouth.
She was like,
I was like, you just shoulded me.
yeah, well, yeah. So
Multiple.
So you were just saying should, and I know that you're much more graceful than that, and I know you didn't mean like should. And I was thinking about how that's where a lot of my interpersonal conflict comes from. Is like the second I think someone should do something, and
well, but even if it's just a want or a desire, I mean, I think that's the hard thing for me is figuring out, and I hope we're not going off topic too much because I feel like it was coming from being right sized.
Yeah, no, I feel like right sides. Like I was thinking about it. It's like a lot of our topics. They're so open ended completely. Like as much as I would like to contain it, it's like it's gonna like lose itself.
yeah. Folks at home, if you have any thoughts, comments,
Please,
anything, let us know. Mike says.
You attract the vibe that you give off. We love you, Mike.
I know. I'm like,
Thank you, Mike. I swear I
like,
thought that said
F
Mike
off.
Pence.
You're so right. You're so right. I'm like,
A big part. We started talking about this. A big part of being right sized is acceptance of the fact that you might be a larger than life personality. Like I have this personality that is gargantuan, but it still doesn't mean that I'm better than or whatever. I realize that I have strengths that some people don't have, and vice versa. And I get to, and for me, I'm using those strengths in a way that help me to get everything that I want.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I think one of the other steps around humility is also like, it completely went out of my head.
That's okay. That happens to me all the time. I was just thinking, so you just jump back in if anything comes up. I just want to tell you something that happened recently. So I started this new treatment for PTSD, and my therapist had suggested it twice, but I was like, I don't know, that feels very controversial for recovery. But I've been working.
Like this. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I've been working with her for over 6 years, and she knows I'm in recovery. She knows I'm in AA. And she's
is it that new crystal meth treatment? Go, I'm sorry.
So I told you this story already.
I'm sorry.
I'm having like a biblical moment. I'm like, I feel called to share this story.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. I called my sponsor up and I said, listen, my therapist suggested this treatment twice. So I'll just say it's ketamine treatment.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned it, yeah.
Yeah, and there's on air.
No, I think we're talking about it.
So I had very conflicting feelings about it, and I didn't want to share about it. I didn't want to talk about it, and so I called up my sponsor, and my sponsor's like, "It sounds fine. Yeah. Like there's nothing for you to worry about." She was telling me, I know people in the program that have started ketamine treatment, and they've actually really benefited. They've been going to more meetings, and you see them being more involved, and no one's walking around high, despite what people might think. So
walking around in a K-hole. Yeah.
Grammy, that's a relative. So my sponsor, I was like, well, I don't really want to talk about this with people in the rooms because people always have a fucking opinion.
Oh yeah.
And so, but my sponsor said, no. We're not keeping secrets.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's Brandon, is everything okay over there? My sponsor was encouraging me to share about it at a meeting. And she was saying, people are going to say things, but people are going to say things.
Yeah, that's not, yeah.
And then she was saying someone might need to hear this.
Yep.
And so,
and that's
even more important.
It's for you to let go of whatever shame and guilt you feel around it. Because
that's what I'm getting to.
Yep. Yeah. There's no need to feel shame and guilt.
Yeah.
This is a relationship that you have with your doctor. None of I don't come to the rooms to get my medical advice.
Yeah. Well, that's where I was getting, right? Yeah. Is that there was. So I shared at this meeting, and of course, some tacky ass person in the meeting afterward. It was tacky.
You mean one of the people you sponsor? I'm kidding. I'm calling people out.
I have a new sponsee that
How many sponsees do you have?
I have 3 now.
I love that.
And my little babies.
I love that for you.
I love all of them. So let me just finish my story. So I shared this at the meeting, and everything's fine. People came up to me afterward, and one person who also has PTSD felt like very encouraged by it. Mm-hmm. And I explained, I'm like, listen, it's not what you think it is. And I feel like I have to tell people, like, listen, I'm not getting high. It's a very controlled. So anyway, I go to dinner, and this person after dinner pulls me inside and offers alternative treatments. And I'm like, man, first off, you don't even know my last name.
I know, exactly.
Number 2, but what you were saying, this is what I'm trying to get to, is I had to get right about it. My ego was so wrapped up in it that like I wanted to fight this person, not really fight this person, but
yeah, no, I said.
But I'm like, no, I need to accept that like this has been something that's suggested to me. I've been doing it. I've been reaping the benefits, and that's it. Like I can't try to make everyone kind of like fall in line.
Absolutely,
it's so countercultural. Mm-hmm. So, which is a lot of like what this podcast is about is, just because it's countercultural, because there can be toxic culture in recovery. And so, and I think that's part of it. I mean, we experience that a lot around mental health treatment. And for one, whether it's antidepressants or, ketamine, like whatever, but people having an opinion, but I mean, and it makes me think of like, I've had a sponsee that, had attempted suicide, and because they attempted suicide, then they were told they had to start their time over. And, it's just like, and it's like that. And I think it was really detrimental to this person. Not in a good way. And, so, and it's just like one of those sorts of things where it's like, and for me, I was like, well, that's between you and your your higher power, your God, your whatever. Like you are the one who can know your heart.
Right.
No,
And at the end of the day, if it's not useful to you, fuck it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I've always been bothered by people who like pontificate, where it's, we share our experience, strength, and hope. And I feel like a lot of people that I've met in the rooms that have a lot of time, they deviate from that and they tell you how it allegedly is, right?
No, exactly.
And they have these very strong opinions that can be very kind of caustic and
But I mean, I think
alienating.
it's the same, but it says more about them than it does about
absolutely.
you. And that's the same thing of like, it's just like the bigots or the haters online who want to come at you for something. It's like, that's more about them than it is about you.
And for as many people who do that, there are those who don't do it. Like one of the things that I try to do with my sponsees from the beginning, and I wasn't as successful as I'm a lot better at it now, is I rather than giving advice, I usually try to tell a story or something so that the person knows that, I get it. And I always do this thing, and I do this to my friends. Okay, I'm going to tell you what I think. It may not be right, and and I can tell you what I might do, but you're going to make the decision. And the key is that you stand by that. It's not about what I want. It's about what you need, and that for me is the most important. I mean, that's ultimate right sizing. When I make choices, when I take a stand for myself because I have
That's
to,
the other,
and I'm block out all the noise, Yeah.
Yeah.
that's-
I like what I'm hearing you say. Bunny Valley, did I just cut you off?
Go ahead.
What I'm hearing you say is, I guess, kind of knowingly going into something. I might be wrong. I could be wrong. I don't know everything. This is my opinion. I could be wrong.
Absolutely.
Right. Folks listening at home, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about being right size. If you have any comments, any thoughts, if you disagree with us, please comment, write in, etc.
Teachable was the thing that was the thing that was in my mind and then went away. But like not thinking you know it all, right?
Yeah,
and like
absolutely.
remaining teachable is a way of being right sized and humble. But my biggest challenge, I think, with humility has been in the long term. And I know I've said this on other episodes, so I'm sorry to repeat myself, but this is the episode to talk about it. But like,
Okay.
I don't always like, I've had a hard time stepping into like my bigness, like my biggerness, like having the confidence or whatever.
Your bigliness.
My bigliness. Now I'm sounding like Trump.
I know, my bigly. I had to look up that word.
But no, like just I can have a harder time. It's because it's not about even just being neutral. But sometimes it's about being able to step up and kind of like you said, make a decision and like move forward through it. I think to me that's been one of the biggest challenges is for me to kind of step into that.
Yeah.
So, when we talk about like this, so we talk about this idea of being gentle with ourselves, and we sometimes we're better at it, encouraging others. I feel like some of the struggles that I'm having, the time when I'm gentle with myself is like, okay, I'm not there yet. Like you're saying, stepping into your big, but it's coming.
Totally,
it's coming because the way you're doing the work, even if you're doing a fraction of the work, discomfort is going to cause you to bust out of that, and
Well, and I think for me as a person in recovery, one thing I learned early on getting in recovery that a lot of my problem is that I'd been avoiding pain, and so like a big part of my growth is to kind of go through some pain, and I know it isn't always like pain doesn't always have to equal that, but I know that I have a lot of avoidant kind of behavior. And so I think I'm just at another point in my life where I have the capacity to feel and express, to be angry, to like just play with these parts of myself, so to speak, that I haven't, that I've been avoiding for so long.
I like to call it discomfort, because discomfort to me, it can be extreme discomfort,
It's not
or
discomfort.
it can
It's
just
fucking painful.
Oh, okay. I guess we're saying different things.
No, but I mean, I get what you're saying, but like, I get what you mean by discomfort, but I think it's more than
well, I think I mentioned that because it's like you looked over, you weren't being right, so you looked over and said, well, I know you don't have to do, but pain is your thing.
Oh,
you don't have to apologize for, this is what's happening. I'm in pain and I have to make whatever changes. For me, that's my touch tone for growth, discomfort. Like, Some's got to give because apparently, like I've gone as far as I can with this, and now I need to go to that next step.
Mm-hmm. It's like that line in the. Excuse me. It's like that line in the. It was a phlegm.
Your voice got all
so it got all sultry.
bedtime.
I know. It's like, what are you doing with that mic?
I know. I was like, is it 12
you look how lazy I am. I'm like leaning back in my chair with the mic.
we see.
That's what we need. We need like
We need
really
recliners.
Yeah, we need really comfortable recliners.
We need recliners.
Right. Oh my God.
Brandon.
They're turning into divas.
I forgot.
Now they need recliners.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Do you need like a mic that just sticks to your mouth?
like Britney Spears?
Or just hangs from the ceiling so you don't have to. I mean,
So we have 10 minutes. Brandon is putting up the 10 minutes.
Oh my God.
Speaking of right
Oh,
size,
Jaylon. What does Jaylon say? Is there someone going to read it? Or?
I think.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think ego would be a great counter topic. Yes.
A counter topic.
I know that.
Maybe you need to join our production
I
team.
know. It's like, Jaylon, you need to be a part of a discussion about ego. It's like, because there's so much to talk about. It's like I'm all.
Are you reading, Jaylon?
No.
That's what it sounded like. It was like, Jaylon, you need to be part of this ego conversation.
No, I mean, it's like, because, we encourage you to suggest topics,
Yeah.
but we also want you to participate. And we had fun when you were in the studio, and we want
did.
you to come back.
I mean, I love that they are also though in the comments so often because that adds another layer too. But I do love them.
you
when
inspire
they're in the
us
studio.
because it's like every time, the more we get people participating.
Well, and the thing I appreciate about Jaylon too is that they have like some like just great wisdom, sense of humor. I just really appreciate them.
And they give zero. Well, right in this moment, they give zero fucks about things.
Zero fucks, but I also think
they're
that
starting
they're
to
kind about it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like
it's changing,
intentional.
We're totally talking about you
I know.
in the most
Well,
loving way because you're amazing.
They're in the room.
Huh?
Jaylon's in the room.
Where?
It's not like we're
Is he in the
talking
cafe?
behind their back.
Oh, what did Jaylon say?
I'm a
listener
listener
today, bitch.
Oh, exactly.
That should be on a shirt.
I know exactly.
I'm a listener.
It's like,
I'm
a
an
listener.
FCC podcast listener.
Yeah.
Bitch.
With like an explicit little thing.
Oh, I like that. It's
Right?
like,
I'm a listener, bitch.
those are.
Is someone keep up? Sorry. Okay. We're like all over the place, or maybe it's just me.
We are, but that's okay because, like, I don't. Okay, so
What?
we're not perfect.
Oh,
We are not. No, I know. It's like we're not perfect.
Shit.
We are flawed at best. We're
Is it that obvious?
And we're in. You're constantly. I'm in search of balance. We're all in search of whatever. You're trying to figure out where you fit.
just trying to find a
And
home.
this is how it works. This is
But
how
like for real.
This is how right sizeness works. It's like acknowledging that I'm a mess, or at times I'm a mess, and I'm trying to get out of that. And it's a constant work in progress.
Yeah, but the right sizeness of it all too is not to be too dramatic about it all.
Oh,
Like,
but
this
we're
is where I'm at.
alcoholics.
This is what's
we're
happening.
alcoholics. Trust
This is
me.
what's going
Brandon
on.
looks like he's going through it. Brandon, are you okay?
He's just over us.
Brandon is.
He's like, I've been listening to you guys for 60 some episodes. He's like,
and I'm over it.
I have a date.
Look at that smile.
We love you, Brandon.
He's got his sniffies open.
He's like, I was here on time.
So
We started late.
I
but-
had fun with you all today.
Oh,
I mean,
too.
and I was thinking about like what I was feeling last week after, like. Without going into detail, I was exhausted, and I took,
you mean after?
I took some things personally, but what
After hours.
I did, and this is the gift of recovery, is I had a conversation with them so that I wouldn't hold on to it, because like I absolutely adore them, and of course they both like it seemed like you both texted me like around the same time. I was thinking they were talking and said we better apologize.
Oh, no, we didn't talk.
not at all.
No,
We
but
did
it was,
not talk,
It was
but-
really nice, and I was like, there really was nothing to apologize for.
We
There's
heard.
really nothing.
I mean, I heard you. I felt you. Like, you know what? I appreciated you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. A part of me was like, oh my God, we have not in front of the company. Like, not in front of the
But
guests.
that's exactly in front of
Angel,
the
but Linda's
company.
part
I
of
will
it.
bring,
yeah.
I will
Linda's
bring
one
my
of us.
messiness. I'm like Reagan from The Exorcist. I'm gonna come
Angel
down.
was
the
like,
stairs,
"Oh, I guess we're
come
doing
down.
it."
I come down the stairs and pee on the
I was
floor.
like, Linda, it's like that every week, but it's not.
It's not. It certainly is not.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
certainly
and
is not.
Linda would look lost anyway.
No, but again,
Yeah.
that's just Linda.
Yeah.
Just teasing
Linda, if you're listening, we'd like to have you
Listen,
back.
Linda.
Yes. Exactly.
Listen, Linda.
Listener, Linda.
Okay, should we
right.
tell people?
Let's tell people.
You
Let's tell people.
So, you know, you can.
Oh, wait, there was one thing I wanted to say. Okay, so.
It's too late.
No, it's not. So, I just wanted to celebrate. So the other day, I think it was maybe yesterday, I was looking at like our listenership, and we literally have listeners like all over the place. There are folks in Germany that have listened to us. There's maybe I think Australia in there. There's like folks in Asia, all over the country here. And I just wanted to say like a shout out to everyone who's listening to us outside of the United States and folks all over the country that listen to us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We're international.
I think we kind of
We're global.
We're global.
Global.
So we have to be careful.
Talk about right size.
We have to be careful.
Global.
Yeah, we love you
We're
as much as
global podcasters.
we're
And we like you.
Right.
Is that it?
No, I care about you.
I care
Don't
about you.
fuck up mine. I really mean it when I say it.
We know.
All right, so
You can reach me on the gram at LouisLou86. You can send me a direct message. I'm always willing to have a nice, lovely conversation with you.
in the DMs.
And you can find me at A Queer Chaplain on all the things. Also, I just want to give a shout out to trans people. It's Trans Awareness Week.
Oh, word, yeah.
This week, and this weekend is T-Door, Trans Day of Remembrance.
Nice.
And so, yeah.
Yeah. I live in the TL. Isn't the TL the trans district?
There is the trans district is part of the TL. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So there are wherever you're at in the world, check out what's happening in your area and participate if you can. Even if you do it in your own little way, you can light a candle at home and
Yeah, show
just
your
take a
trans
moment.
folks some love.
think and
Absolutely.
remember. I'm going to do a special trans number for mascara this weekend. You're doing drag too.
I am.
I was excited to see the cast. It's like almost all the old girls.
Yeah.
What old girls?
That old,
Well, just the girls that like
Like
I
in
started.
age, or-
Some of the girls I started with.
it's a bunch of like the regulars.
During the Prohibition?
It's like geriatric mascara.
Wow.
During women's
Where,
suffrage.
Anthony, where can we reach you?
You can kind of reach me at ALucasCCC on Instagram.
Which we have our own Instagram now.
We
Did
do.
we share that already?
We do.
No, but
At the CCC podcast.
Yeah. Should I get rid of mine then?
Follow us.
If we have our-
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
Girl, that's separate.
Girl,
that's a page.
That's a page.
you're working on your
You're-
PTSD, so
you're
it's
your
like
own
I think that
person.
you'll be fine.
Yeah. Okay. So, ALucas on Instagram, or if you don't have Instagram or you're just feeling extra chatty and you want to type something, you can send us an email at podcast@castrocountryclub. Is it org?
And do we have a...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, there was a message that came in.
Was that an older
Was
one?
that Angel?
That was from that was an old thing.
Yeah.
Was that okay?
I did see it. I was like...
So yeah.
didn't we
Brandon's
have like a
not right size.
voicemail?
No.
No, we did. We did. Someone
That
left
you
us.
shared.
Someone on Speakpipe.
But that
It wasn't a
Speakpipe.
Speakpipe, but it was still a message.
No, a friend sent friend who we share gratitude.
And are we going to do that topic
Yeah,
next
we're
week?
going to talk about.
Well,
gonna talk
I would
about-
love to. We should play it on air
About Grace.
with that person's permission. at some point.
I'll reach out.
Yeah. So yeah, you can email us or you can leave us a message on our Speakpipe, speakpipe.com/@the-CCC.
Yes, the Castro Country Club is a safe and sober community center for all people and a refuge for the LGBTQ recovery community.
Words are hard.
Good job. They provide programs and services that help people change their lives by supporting personal growth.
Our vision is to reduce the suffering of addiction by connecting people to community, opportunity, and support. You can find more information at castrocountryclub.org.
And tune in every Tuesday at 4 p.m.-ish when we go live on our Castro Country Club Facebook and YouTube channels.
Pacific Standard Time.
Yes.
Pacific Standard Time.
And we won't make today's time a habit.
Go. What don't you want to read?
Find
that
us
one?
on all our on your favorite podcast sources.
And is that it?
Anthony,
Anthony,
Bonnie,
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 and
Lulu.
Lulu. Yeah,
Thanks
that's
so
us.
much. We'll see you next week.
Okay, we love you. Bye.
Bye.